Yo, what's up, guys? It's Mike here from Aerovox Studios, and today I'm going to show you how to mix some aggressive pop vocals. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you how to take vocals that sound like this.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now.
And take your vocals to this.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving town, there's no need to stick around.
That is straight fire. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take all this raw audio, copy it, and paste it up here to 11 tracks. So what you're looking at right here is just that. 11 tracks duplicated up here to these tracks, which I'm going to Melodyne on. The first three here are going to be leads and two harmonies. Then it just goes in pairs. And the pairs are basically doubles. One I'm panning left, one I'm panning right, and they all have just a little bit different panning on them. I have already Melodyned these, but let's Melodyne a couple of them so I can show you guys the process. I'm going to turn off all these Melodynes. We'll put a Melodyne on the lead. And we'll do some Melodynes on a couple of these backgrounds here, so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, once you got your audio transferred into Melodyne, you're going to want to make sure you got Melodyne in the right key. If you got an automatic key finder that you're using, I highly recommend, you're just one YouTube video away from learning how to figure out the key all by yourself. All you got to do, go to YouTube, learn how to play the major scale, open up a MIDI piano, 2 whole steps, half step, 3 whole steps, half step, and then play that in every key until you find that all 7 notes work with the beat that you are going to be recording to. That's how you find the key. And if there is one note that sounds wrong, you are in the wrong key. This is set for F major. Let's start with the lead vocal.
Don't bring me down, I'm
I'm going to select all, snap them.
now. I'm leaving.
Okay, I can see a few things I want to correct here. Okay, so we got these all snapped right here. Just get that E out of there.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving.
We can take this breath.
town, there's no need to stick around.
Turn that guy down. There's also a little S over here we can turn down. Okay. And that is pretty much it. We could fix some of these slanted guys, and that probably wouldn't hurt anything. That's the lead Melodyne. Let's hit the next one. I'm going to be using multiple Melodynes because I don't have Melodyne Studio. That's the one that I believe allows you to overlap multiple tracks at a time, if I'm correct. I also don't have the version of Pro Tools Ultimate that has the ARA update. So yes, I do have to hit transfer every single time and transfer the tracks in. Kind of sucks. But at least Pro Tools finally fixed that, I'll tell you what. All right, here's the first harmony.
Bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving town, no need to stick around.
Okay, we'll use a little bit of that sibilant tool right here. Oh, let's cut it. I don't like it touching the other one.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving town, no need to stick around.
Okay, we're just cutting all the blobs to line up with the pitch line, which is that line that we're looking at. Some of these ones I can just use a note transition tool, and that really gives me, like, you know, it smoothens it out in a lovely way. So we got the second harmony done. Let's go ahead and pop in the third. This one's doing melodically something different than what the other one was doing. It's kind of going up in places where the other melody was going down. That should create for some cool, like, chord action going on. Different harmonic elements happening all at different times. Should be pretty sick. We'll cut this guy out. Okay. Last but not least, this little S right here. All right, let's play this one.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving town, no need to stick around.
Nice. Just one little one. I guess there's one more. Might as well. Okay. So there's the three harmonies. Let's play them together.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving town, no need to stick around.
Now, this next singer, all right, he sucks. Okay, but Melodyne's going to help out. And this is where I was talking about getting into some aggressive style stuff. There's a little more grit in the tone that I'm trying to use there. If dare I call what I'm doing tone. But you see, when I get the pitches correct of this, it's all going to just sink into the background. And you and I are the only people, okay, that are ever going to hear these tracks soloed. So something weird right here. Hear that little robotic thing going on? Definitely some note transition needed right there. That's manageable. I'll live with that. Okay. There's this S we're going to cut, and there's this flat note. Okay.
Don't bring me down.
Let's get the next one.
I'm falling.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Okay. Yeah. There's definitely some funky little pitches up in here. Blues notes. Jazz notes, if you will.
Stick around. Stick around.
There we go. It's better.
Don't bring me down.
Okay, this is incorrect.
Don't bring me down.
Got a sharp guy right here.
Now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
A little bit robotic in some places, but like I said, this is going to sink right into the background, especially after we get to the vocal chain where I make them do that.
stick around.
No transition this guy because we chopped it all up.
There's no need to stick around.
Don't bring me down.
I'm falling now.
There's just the two together.
Leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Okay, we'll take this little piece right here. And we will hit the sibilant tool on it. Let's see the same over here. All right. So that is how Melodyne goes. I already did that to all 11 of these tracks, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of how we did that. And I'm going to play you the whole stack Melodyned. Okay?
Don't bring me down.
Remember, it sounded like this.
Now I'm leaving town. There's
And
no need
we got that.
to stick around.
Okay, so after that, I right click and I commit these guys. But I've already done that, and I have the committed Melodyne down here on another track. A playlist, to be correct. All right? So that is all the Melodyne stuff. After that, we're going to get into this vocal chain. So first thing's going to be auto-tune. Make sure you set the right key, okay? I went with a little bit of a faster retune speed, and I humanized all the way. Also, I put the tracking speed to number 1. I believe this is to help you if there's a lot of headphone noise in the recording, and I do not have a lot of that in this recording, any of my recordings. So let's hear with the auto-tune.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Also, I clip gained some of these so that way they are all kind of around the same gain. See how the waveforms are all very similar sized? Reason I did that is so that way when we get to the compression, I don't have to worry about these tracks hitting the compressors at different levels, so I can pretty much copy and paste my compressor settings, but maybe tweak them just a little bit, So after the auto-tune, we're going to hit the good old EQ7 band. So all I'm doing here is cutting out the lows of the vocal, okay? Let me show you what it sounds like without that on the lead vocal.
Don't bring me down.
Okay, in.
Don't bring me
Out.
down. I'm
Hear that low end and kind of muddied low end?
I'm leaving town.
See, this just cuts it all out of there. Okay. Now this one, I'm doing another high pass filter, but it's 60 hertz, and I just cut out some more frequencies that I didn't find very pleasing in the vocal. So here's 5 places that I cut, and here are 5 different places that I cut. All right. After that, I still feel like I was hearing something I wanted to tame. So I put a dynamic EQ on here. Without.
Don't bring me down.
And with.
I'm falling now. I'm leaving.
Okay, now that I feel like I've got it nice and cleaned up.
I'm leaving town.
Except for this little area right here.
No need to stick around.
We're going to just duck that down just a little
I'm
bit.
leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
So after the dynamic EQ and the 2 subtractive EQs, we are going to actually start to EQ the vocal and give it some saturation. So first thing I'm hitting right here is the saturation.
I'm leaving
Let me show you without.
town. There's no need to stick around.
Let me show you with.
I'm leaving town.
Without.
There's no need
With.
to stick around.
So just that little bit of distortion, saturation there just helps it kind of pop out, you know? And then the de-esser. I love the way that this is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. And we can just remove any frequency when it hits over a certain threshold.
Don't bring.
And in 4 different shapes. Fire.
Don't bring me.
So I'm taking out some of this.
I'm falling now.
Okay. And I'm taking out some of this.
Need to stick around.
All right. Then a nice healthy dose of a high shelf up here at 8K. Nothing on the mid band. Boosting some of this. Sounds kind of weird on its own, right? But here's a bunch of it.
Don't bring me down.
Just really warms up the vocal. I like it. And that was it. No compression. Because I'm going to compress right now. We're going to pull up that 1176 blue strip. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know how much I love this. So on a lead vocal, I like the attack it right here at 3. And I like to put the release as fast as possible. Okay. So that's what's going on. I crank the input until I'm getting about 7 to 10 max on the gain reduction. And I set the output to where the track is not getting louder or quieter. They're close, you know, in gain. Here's without. And pay attention right here to this part. This quiet part to this loud part. See how leaving just kind of comes out and the other line was kind of tucked back? Listen to how this takes care of that.
Now I'm leaving. Now I'm leaving.
It's much more balanced. It's still happening, but it's not as crazy as it was before this compressor. So we're going to have this guy come after the 1176 and do a little more balanced cleanup work here.
Now I'm leaving.
So now that little note, that little quieter dynamic spot is kind of fitting up better with the higher one. Because we're turning down that higher stuff.
I'm leaving town.
Okay, that is sounding good. Let's go ahead and turn on the de-esser. The de-esser here, basically what I love about this thing is that red line up here at the top. Okay, it's this red spot down here. And you want that to go over where this white is. If you need another bump, some people like lots of bumps.
I'm falling now. I'm leaving.
And now I can see that those wider spots are mellowed out, the hot spots, if you will, you know? After that, we're hitting that vocal rider, right? And we're just getting that target to stick out over this box just a little bit right here.
I'm leaving town.
Okay. And that typically handles the very last of the dynamic range that needs to be handled. Vocal rider does it all for me. So let's check out this track here without any of the vocal chain.
Don't bring me down.
And with the vocal chain.
I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
And sometimes if you're worried ever about little sections like that one that I was showing you, you could just cut it out, clip gain it up just a tad, fade it back together. All right. And then group it. Clip group it and pretend like you never ever cut it. And now
I'm leaving town.
There we go.
There's no need to stick around.
So that process that I just did on the lead vocal, it's kind of the same thing with all the rest of the tracks here. Okay? The only difference is that they're going to get, you know, used in different ways. There's going to be different frequencies that get cut. Different attack and release settings on the compressor, different amount of de-essing. Okay, so let's go into the 2 harmony tracks that go with this one. Okay, so on these 2 harmonies, we have auto-tune, obviously, right? And that setting is just copied from the one above. And then we have the EQ7 band, which is also just copied from the one above on the lead vocal, right? It starts to get a little different here, though. Okay, because I am going to high pass filter again, and I low pass to 15K. So just cut off a little bit of that top end off of them. And let's hear what these two sound like with those
Don't bring me
off
down, I'm falling
and then on.
now. I'm
See how they get smaller and a little darker?
no
This is good because we want to change the size of these to fit a little better behind the bigger lead vocal. And we've got, 10 tracks of backgrounds and one lead here. So we really want to make sure we get these the right size so they're not going to dominate that lead vocal. After that, I did not end up doing a dynamic EQ. I didn't really felt like it was, crucial. Nobody's going to die if we don't use it. But this is where it starts to really shape the sound, okay? I'm going with the crush on this Sheps right here, and I've got it cranked. So we're really kind of distorting this vocal. And same idea with the de-esser, but the EQ, I'm taking back the top end, taking back the lows, and I'm boosting this frequency, 595 in them. Okay, let's hear it without these. Okay. And then the dark and dirty version. Okay. Pretty crazy. So there's the sound. That's what I'm rocking with. Then we got the 1176s. Now, since they're backgrounds, I want them to feel backgroundy. So I went with the faster attack here. Got it at like 6 and got the release all the way up, fast as it'll go. And I'm aiming again for the same amount of gain reduction. Okay. Same thing with the LA2As, aiming for the same amount of gain reduction, about -3 to -5. Then I want to de-ess these more than I did the lead. Okay. That's what's going on with that. Pretty simple. Then vocal rider, of course. And just following that rule of thumb that I have for myself, which is make sure that yellow bar is going over this block right here. So let's hear those harmonies with the lead vocal.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving town, there's no need to stick around.
Pretty sick. All right. The next two tracks are a left and right of me doing the high harm. Okay, then we got the 7 band. This is a different voice than the other guy. This is my voice, so I just cut some different places, copied it down to the next one, 5 more different little places, and made sure I really cut out that low end in my voice. I brought the low pass filter down a little bit further than I did on those harmony tracks. Okay. Then we're going to the Sheps. You could hear how those just transformed, right? So let's hear these vocals without the EQs and without the Sheps. Okay. They really come out at you, and I want these backgrounds to just melt into the track. So we're not going with that whole super bright vocal thing on these guys. So I used the crush. I got it at 12 o'clock. The de-esser, the same idea. I cut this out of it. I cut this out of it. And just, cut back the top, cut back the lows. Boosted that 595 here. Kind of the same exact thing. I copied what I did up here on this one, but I used less crush. Less of that saturation. Then, just like before, we got the 1176s going. We got the LA2As. Okay, and then we got the de-essers and vocal rider. Okay, so let's hear it without any of this. Big difference, right? So let's hear these with the stack now.
I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Okay, sounding pretty sick. Let's get into the next two.
Don't bring me down.
All right, this is me singing unison with his lead.
Falling now.
So yeah, same process. We got the EQ 7 bands going here,
No need to stick around.
and
Don't bring me
they are identical as the ones above
I'm
on the last two.
falling now. I'm
Then we hit the Sheps,
leaving town. There's no need to stick
and
around.
these are also copied and pasted from above.
Bring me
Okay, so nothing new. Same thing with the compression, the LA2A, the de-esser, vocal rider.
I'm leaving.
It's all doing the same stuff.
There's no need to stick
Making sure we're getting the right amount of gain reduction in each place, all that kind of jazz, right? So let's hear that in the stack.
Falling now. I'm
I can probably turn my unison with the lead up just a tad.
need to stick around. Don't bring me down. I'm
All right, this is where we're going to start to get into the aggressive stuff because we got the screamy vocals, all right? I did Melodyne these, and they get weird in Melodyne. You have to use your ears more than your eyes in Melodyne sometimes because, like, you can't over screams. Like, when you move it, it really gets robotic. So let me show you what these sound like. No filters, just auto-tune on them. By themselves, they sound a little strange.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. No need to stick around.
Some of the low ones are still a little bit not right. I'm going to put the low screams, which are the bottom two, change this to low male, and we're going to turn this up a little bit and slow that down.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now.
We're going to turn this one up a little too.
Town. No need to stick around. Don't bring me
Okay.
down. I'm falling
So,
now.
kind of the same idea as before. We are going to have the 7 band on them 2 times in a row. All right, notching out frequencies we don't dig. And then we're going to saturate them with this Sheps Omni. But I did not use as much of the saturation on these because what it did to S's and T's started to just get a little wild. Started to fry them, I feel like, a little too much. Kind of like when you overdo bacon, you know, and you've just gone too far and you can't go back. At least we could go back here. You know what I'm saying? Just take that knob back a little bit. We're going to go ahead and check out the 1176s on these.
Don't bring me
And if these go over 10, minus 10 a little bit, I'm not going to be mad about it. But I'm just kind of aiming for the same thing, 7 to 10.
Don't need to stick around.
Faster attack, fast release, LA2As.
Don't bring
They're definitely trying to get to 5, okay?
I'm falling.
So really smashing these, getting them to kind of sound like distorted and wild, right? Because that is aggressive.
Don't
DS these,
bring me down.
vocal ride these.
Falling now. I'm leaving town. No need
Okay.
to stick around.
Now, let's play them in the whole stack.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
That's dope. Let's check them out with the beat.
Don't bring me down. I'm
I'm going to take his two higher screams, bring them down just a little bit.
There's no need to stick around. Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no
Sounds good.
need to stick around.
I like it. Now, all these screams, okay, they're hitting this scream bus right here. And the scream bus, I've got this EQ on it, and I may or may not use it. Let's go ahead and solo it.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling.
Let's turn on the whole stack.
I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Okay, so you can hear how they're just not as prominent now. Probably won't go so aggressive with this guy, but that's the idea. These are helping those screams to melt in with that smooth, crispy, bright lead vocal.
Don't bring me
Okay, here's without that.
down. I'm
Here's with that.
falling now. Don't bring
Here's with.
me down. I'm
Here's without.
falling now.
So it's subtle.
I'm leaving town. No.
Okay. And after that, I like to do a little more compression on them.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm
If you ever feel like
leaving
the Fairchild here is not giving you enough compression, you can always hit this little headroom knob.
bring me down.
All right.
I'm falling.
I like what that's doing. Here's without this.
Leaving town. No need to stick around.
Here's with.
Don't bring
Without.
me down. I'm
With.
falling now. I'm
Yeah, just really smashed the piss out of it, didn't I? You know? It's part of the sound. Trust the process, guys. After that, all these vocals are hitting a background bus. The background bus right here also has a Fairchild on it, and this is just doing another little bit of glue. I really want to glue all of those signals together, make them feel like one unit. And the lead vocal is not going into this bus, obviously. It's going into the lead's Vox bus, all right?
Don't bring me down. I'm falling.
So we're just looking for a little bit.
now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Okay, you can really hear that saturation just dirtying up those background vocals. I love it. All right, so that's everything as far as the vocal chain goes. That's everything on the buses. Let's get into vocal effects. So first I'm going to play you the vocal effects, and then I'll explain what they are.
Don't bring me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Pretty fire. All right. So here's what's going on. The first effect in this bay here, all this row right here, they're all doing the similar thing, but I've got three different kind of flavors of what it is. They're all just kind of like wideners. So the first one is like a Waves doubler 4, the pitch shift right here. The one that I have labeled as pitch shift. All right. So it's a de-esser first, that then goes into this Waves doubler 4, and after that, it is getting some aggressive notch filtering. Okay. So let's go ahead and play it, and I will show you. That one's only on the lead, by the way, too. So I'm going to show you what that sounds like.
Don't
Here's a
bring
healthy dose.
me down. I'm falling now. I'm leaving.
Okay. I never use that much of it, but that's what it sounds like. And if you like that sound, feel free. Go right ahead. Turn it up as much as you like. On the harmonies, I've got a different one. Okay. These two right here, they're going to this thing, the Steven Slate delay unit. And I'm just delaying those signals 21 milliseconds and taking that delayed signal and blending it in with the original dry. You know, that's kind of how this whole send return thing works. And it's giving me this sound.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now, I'm leaving.
After that, we have all of this rest of this stack here. They're all going to ADT, real ADT. Pretty sick. I just went into the presets and used classic vocal ADT. All right, let me show you a healthy dose of that.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now, I'm leaving.
Pretty cool. Again, I'm just using a little tasteful amount of it, okay? I don't want to go too crazy with it. So that's why I just, make sure that it's felt more than heard. You know, you probably heard me say that a couple times. It's really like a big philosophy for me. After all of the widener, pitch shifter style kind of things, what we have is, of course, a reverb. You're going to want some reverb on your vocals. So we got the long verb. Okay, let's check out the long verb.
Don't bring me down, I'm
that healthy dose.
now.
Sounds just heavenly, doesn't it? Angelic almost. Pretty amazing. And that long verb, it's Stephen Slate, verb suite. Got 1.9, what is that? I can't read. 1.93 seconds of decay time on it. Hella chorus. Cranking little highs, cutting little mids, cranking little lows. That's about it with that one. After that, we're EQing.
Don't bring me
without the EQ.
down, I'm
With the EQ.
now.
Feel like it just helps it get a little clearer, you know? If you want to, too. You can also throw a little compressor before your, if you feel like your reverb is dominating your dry signal, you could throw a little compressor before it. And you just want it to be compressing like 3 to 5 on the biggest dynamics.
Don't bring me down,
And
I'm falling.
this obviously just changed the level of gain. Let's turn this off.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now.
So you can see over here, this is where it is.
Don't bring
When I turn this on,
me down,
we want it to be about the same.
falling
So we got to go turn that up.
I'm leaving town, there's no need to stick around. Don't.
Okay. That kind of just lets your reverb kind of ebb and flow with the dynamics. I didn't really use one, but this is a cool trick. I kind of like it without it on this track, but sometimes I'll use that. After the long verb, let's get into the short verb. And I'll mute the long verb so you can hear what this one's doing, really.
Don't bring me down.
It's another Stephen Slate. I got 691 milliseconds there. Lots of width going on. And you can't really tell that it's super reverbed until you stop it like that, you know?
Don't.
You could hear the room on that breath.
Don't bring me.
And, this one was designed to, again, be more felt than heard. That's why we got the top end cut out. We got some mids cut out. We got some lows cut out. And I got it cranked wide, you know what I'm saying? So that way it's rapping around the vocal. So when we mix these two together, also, and then I'm EQing that guy. So let's hear it with this.
Don't bring me down.
And then on. Beautiful. We just don't need that healthy of a dose on it. We just want to go tasteful.
Don't bring.
So those are the first 5 effects, 6 effects, whatever that was. All right. Next one is a quarter note.
Leaving town, there's no need to stick around. Don't.
Okay, my quarter note's another Stephen Slate repeater. All right. We're cutting some lows. We're cutting the highs. Super rolling them off, all right? And cutting out all of the color. Keeping this thing center. And got a healthy dose of that feedback going on. And that's pretty much it.
Don't bring
I am not sending this delay to a reverb, so it's just a dry, dark delay.
now.
After the quarter note, we got a half note that is different on the lead and the two harmonies than it is on the backgrounds. So let me show you the leads first.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now.
Yes, it is ping-ponging. Okay. Let me show it to you. We got repeater again.
Don't bring me.
And we are really thinning it out, cutting up here to like 200 something and cutting down here to like, I don't know, maybe 3K, right? Little notch out of the color, spreading it, ping-ponging it. And that's what's going on there with that. Plus, I'm sending it to my long verb. Okay. And we got a good, tasteful amount of reverb on that half note. So, listen to it one more time. Try to listen for that reverb on the delay. See how those echoes are in that long room, that heavenly little place we was talking about? Yeah, I sent them to heaven. You know what I'm saying? All right, so now let me show you the half note that I have on the rest of the stack. Okay, here it is. And if you couldn't tell, it's a half note with a phaser. So it ends up being the same exact plugin. I just copied it down, but I did not ping pong it. Okay, I just turned that one off on this. Hit it with the phaser.
Don't bring me
And
down.
this mix knob was the most important, and the timing for me was the most important. So it's like morphing on beat. It's kind of doing its weird psychedelic thing, like on beat to this pulse right here. So let me show you a good healthy dose of this delay right here.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling.
Okay, let me show you with the mix knob all the way up.
Leaving town, there's no need to stick around.
And that for me got a little weird, so we'll just put it right back to where it was, okay?
I'm falling now.
And I felt like that was just a really cool texture to have in the background vocals and not have it on any of the lead kind of information. That way, it can really blend in and gel with the whole picture that we got going on here. So I didn't want that to dominate, be some wild effect that's out there too much, but I did want that to be heard.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now. I'm leaving.
So you can hear it in there. It's just, you know, it's not out there in your face, but it's out there. Last effect is only on the lead and the harmonies. And it is sort of like a, kind of like how the movies would portray somebody being on drugs. I wouldn't know. I've never taken drugs in my life, but I would have to say, like, you know, when you see like a tracer, like somebody moves their hand like on a camera like this, and you could see like the hand kind of floating behind it, right? It's like leaving some tail, some like tracer things that you can visually see. Having a hard time trying to explain this slap to you guys. Basically, that's what this sound is trying to emulate, okay? So I'm going to give you a healthy dose of this slap, but I'm going to turn off everything else so you can hear it.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling.
You hear that? I heard it mostly in my left ear.
Don't bring me.
Okay. Let me go ahead and turn it up a bit more for you.
Don't bring.
You hear that? Now, what I'm doing with this guy is I've got a dotted note on the right side and I've got a full on the left side. But they're both 30-second note, and I got hella feedback going on. So it just kind of makes this tracer vibe that's happening after every little thing that he says. Cut it at 150. left a little bit more of the top in there, cut back the color, and spread it super wide. Okay? And that was pretty much it with this guy. So after I made that, I put it in the short room. Just a tasty little dose of that reverb. So let's check them out with all of the vocal chain, all of the effects, all of the bus processing, and playing with the beat.
Don't bring me down, I'm falling now.
That is fire.
Town, there's no need to stick around.
You know, straight fire. I could now go ahead and grab the whole stack of backgrounds and oh boy, little letters. I don't like them.
Don't bring me down.
Turn them down just a little bit, you know? So no lead. Okay, lead in. No backgrounds.
I'm leaving town. There's no need to stick around.
Yeah. Okay, and that is a wrap on how to mix some aggressive pop style vocals. I hope you guys got something out of today's video. If you did, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your favorite part is, if you're using any of this, and what worked out the best for you. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop more content like this right here. Treat yourself, don't beat yourself. Hit that description and go download my free template just like the one you guys are looking at here today. Also, if you get a chance, hop on over to Instagram. Give us a follow. We'll be sure to follow you guys back. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I'm so grateful. I love you so much, and I will catch you at the next one. Peace.